Yes, sir. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. We are finally here. We are back in session. I am your host, Ken Silver.
I am your co-host, Kyle Silver.
And welcome back to the Silver Boys Podcast Show. Now, Kyle.
Yo.
Ooh,
Yo.
ooh.
Yo. What's up?
Both
Talk to me.
Both tournaments on the men's and women's side were more than exciting this last weekend. But before we get into that, we had some wild news breakout on Wednesday. So, in the NFL, Stefon Diggs was traded to the Houston Texans. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. When I seen that, midday yesterday on Wednesday, I said, oh my goodness. Because all I could think about was just how happy is CJ Stroud right now, probably.
CJ Stroud is happy. I know Stefon Diggs is happy.
Oh, Stefon Diggs is most definitely happy, given all the the tumultuous situations that was going on in Buffalo and everything. He seemed as if he was unhappy, but he was going back on his word, saying he was fine, but you could tell, all throughout the course of the season, something was going wrong. He was probably mad he wasn't getting the ball as much because Josh Allen wasn't really throwing it to him like he was in years past. So it was just a whole bunch of things that relationship needed to be ended.
Oh yeah,
you get along to a player that you'd just be better off if you don't have him on the team anymore.
Yeah. So for that trade, the Buffalo Bills received a 2024 6th-round pick, a 2025 second-round pick, and a 2025 6th-round pick. I think the biggest thing for me is just the fact that, like you said, that relationship just needed to end. Going back to the summertime during training camp, when Stefon Diggs didn't show up, those first couple of days, and Coach McDermott said that he was very worried about it, and that obviously so. But then you could tell over the season that they were just phasing him out of the game plan, basically.
Yeah.
So then it was weird, when he needed to, I guess, when they wanted him to make big catches and big plays at the end, especially in that divisional round versus the Chiefs. It was it made sense as to why everything went down the way that it went down.
Exactly.
As to why he was missing passes and everything like that, because you
weren't getting him involved early and getting those hands hot early.
Exactly.
You just don't want some ice cold hands at that point.
Exactly. So at that point it was why even try? But I know, oh man, it's crazy. It's crazy on both sides because Buffalo is now just to me, they're just not there anymore.
No, not at all. You can't put them up there with
Davis is not there no more. You don't have Stefon Diggs. Now they have I think they had the 29th pick in the draft, if I'm not mistaken. So now they have no choice but to go get a wide receiver. They can't just get one. They have to get two.
You gotta at least get two. At least.
You have to at least get two. Because I think the only person on that team that was making contributions, that was a receiver that was really making contributions, was Khalif.
Yeah.
Other than that, everybody else, you might have seen, but you weren't really paying attention to because they weren't really part of the offense. So for the Bills, it's gonna be tough for Josh Allen and them for probably this year, maybe even next year.
I see it going not so great for the next 2 years, just because you guys were in such a position over the last 3-4 years to get to the Super Bowl and to get to the big game and stuff.
Right, to make that run.
And then now your guys are just back in the gutter. You're essentially back to where you started with Josh Allen first got on the Bills team.
There you go.
And then all the Texans do is just flip the playbook on them, because that's exactly what you could pay. You could pay Stefon Diggs. You could pay everybody else, because CJ Stroud's on his rookie contract. So now you could go and get what you need to get right now, so that you could go win right now, and then later on in the back end, everything will take care of itself.
Right. Because you
got to win first.
Yeah,
you have to win.
Right. And that's the thing that the Bills just couldn't do.
Exactly.
And as much as I really like Josh Allen, I think he's a great quarterback. I think he's top 5. A lot of people say he's top 3, but I'll give him top 5. The only thing is that he just can't get it done.
He gets in his own way sometimes too.
Yeah,
a lot of the time.
He does. Like this past year, it wasn't his fault.
It wasn't.
You know what I mean? You literally just got beat by a better quarterback, by a better team, and that's fine. That happens. That's part of the sports. That's part of the game. But we've seen it.
We've seen it to where it could flip,
especially in that Cincinnati game. That Cincinnati game, I remember watching that game. I'm bro, this is theirs for the taking at this point, and they literally just couldn't do it. So yeah, for the Bills right now, they take a major step back and they let teams like the Jets and others get ahead of them.
Now,
especially in a tough
catching up too.
in the tough AFC now. The AFC as a whole is just really
Solid,
tough. It's too solid.
Mm-hmm.
And then going down to Houston. Houston looks amazing. They got just this all season. They got Joe Mix. They got Stefon Diggs. They got Daniel Hunter on the defensive side, Jeff Okuda on the defensive side, C.J. Henderson, and a couple other defensive tackles. Like they look really good. And then now their offense combined with Tyndale coming back from injury, Dalton Schultz on the tight end spot. Then you got Nico Collins. You basically have 2 number ones. Actually, technically 3 if you really want to get to it. If you really want to get to it. And then now you have Joe Mixon coming in as well.
That's a big pickup too. That was always the big. Like that was a
huge pickup for them. So,
even without Stefon Diggs, you could put the Texans in a certain category of like being up there with the top team.
Mm-hmm.
Now you add Stefon Diggs, and if he can produce the way that we are accustomed to seeing him produce,
correct,
and D'Amico Ryans and C.J. Stroud could get him the ball, they'll have no problem. In my opinion, they'll have no problem. No problem.
Yeah, no, they'll be fine. I think that they will be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm more than excited to see what that team will look like.
I am too. I know. Me too, brother. As long as, as the season, goes on and goes on,
right.
Once we get into, week 14, week 15, let's see what the Texans are going to do.
Yes.
Because we've seen it last year.
Yes.
We've seen it last year as a rookie quarterback, and now you gave him weapons. You gave him,
for real weapons. Too. We talking, and Stefon Diggs is known to, have hand. You know what I mean? He's known to, really, never drop the ball. So that's gonna be awesome to see.
Facts.
Other news, going to the NBA, just found out this morning that Julius Randle will be out for the remainder of the season. It was kind of always getting to that point because of the fact that, just basically just because of the fact that there was really no news coming out.
There was no timetable for a return for him. They were kind of saying maybe first round, but it wasn't a definitive how it was when Joel Embiid came back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And they always said that surgery was on the table too. So
and I mean at this point you got to get it now. You got to get it now so that the fact that you could come back for next season in a timely manner.
Yeah.
Big loss for the Knicks though.
Yeah. And I think and that's the reason why it's a season ending, because he has to get the surgery. He has no choice but to get it. So but they said that he tried his hardest to come back, and I applaud him for that. But
I know Julius Randle, he's not going to sit out if he doesn't need to. At all.
Correct.
That thought doesn't even cross his mind.
No,
it just sucks for Jalen Brunson, even OG, he went out a little bit too. The Knicks aren't in the greatest position right now, especially with teams like the 76ers. They're coming back, like I said with Joe. He had a nice 2 games when he came back. But Milwaukee's low key, I think, fading too. They're fading too. So it's gonna come up to Tom Tibbs in that defense.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see what other teams do, what Cleveland can do. Orlando looks like they're trying to make that push. They really look strong. They look like they're trying to make that push. What can you got Miami, Indiana? They're tied right now.
Miami been on a tear. These last couple games themselves too.
Indiana's been up and down and things of that nature. And then obviously you have your 2 playing teams with the Bulls and Hawks, but a major blow to the Knicks, and just hopefully Jalen Brunson can get whatever he can, which I think he will. You still got Josh Hart there, who's a machine,
a dog.
He's you know what I mean. He's everything that you want in a basketball player. Dante DiVincenzo, he has not seen a 3-pointer that he does not like.
Exactly.
He will chuck that thing up however many times he needs to. McBride. He's been
nice
picking it up a lot lately. Isaiah Hartenstein is really doing his thing.
Mitchell Robinson
is coming back. He's coming off the bench, which is better because Isaiah Hartenstein does a lot more.
He established himself as that starting 5. Over the course of Mitchell Robinson being out, you can't change that up.
Correct. Yeah. No, not at all. And then I like Mitchell Robinson coming off the bench, especially with how good he is defensively, and that's what's really going to count for them. But that's big news right there on that side. And we coming into the push. There's 10 days left in the regular season.
10 days. Then playoff basketball will start. It's the better type of basketball.
It's coming.
Yes, sir.
It's coming soon. It's coming soon. But let's go to what's been happening in men's college basketball.
Let's get it.
So last week we had the regional semis and the regional finals, which was pretty good, I'll say. Nonetheless, we talked about the East and the West region a little bit because we were recording after those games last week. But for the South and the Midwest region, so you had North Carolina State beat Marquette in the regional semis, and you had Duke beat Houston in the regional semis, which is huge. North Carolina State beating Marquette was obviously that was a kicker right there. That was a huge thing right there.
By 9.
Yeah. DJ Horn came into play. Mohamed Diarra with 11 points, 15 rebounds. They led the whole game. They just got out in front and they were just able to keep their foot on the gas pedal. Duke was able to last out on Houston. Sucks because Houston, Jamal Shed, he went down with an ankle injury at the end of the first half. Who knows, that game could have been different, but either way, it was very back and forth.
It was a nip and tuck battle.
Yeah, it was a nip and tuck battle. That's the word I was looking for actually. But that was a really good battle that I was happy to see. Purdue was able to beat Gonzaga in the Midwest region.
Made short work of Gonzaga, as we expected.
Yeah. Edie's he's a man amongst boys right now. Like he's really showing himself out, and that's what I like to see right there. I've had my questions. We've had our questions about him over the season, but just to see him continuously become more and more of a monster, it's actually like really cool to see.
You gotta show that to these boys that there's nothing that they can do with you, and which he has been proving and showing over the course of this tournament.
Correct. He in that game against Gonzaga, he was the only person to shoot free throws.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He was 7 for 10.
They just fouling him, hacking.
Like you can't. This ain't hack a shack with him. Like he can actually
hack It don't work as well, boys. It don't work as well. Let me tell y'all right now. It don't work as well.
No. He makes them. Brandon Smith, he had 14 points and 15 assists in that game. That guy can ball.
Yeah,
he's a hooper right there. Going to the East region for the regional finals, UConn.
Come on now. Oh my! What they did.
What they did. That was very criminal. Everybody on that team should have been arrested for that. That was very criminal.
Lock them up.
That was very criminal. I've never seen nothing like that in my life.
I actually put out an APB out for Illinois during the game. I actually did.
Think about how highly we spoke of like Terrence Shannon Jr. Think about how amazing he was. He was what, top 3, top 5 in scoring in the nation this year.
He was.
And he had numbers where he was putting up 40. He was putting up 30s. He was putting up 25s. Next thing you know, he sees UConn and he can only put up 8.
2 for 12 from the field. 0 for 1 from 3. UConn is just, they do what they do. They suffocate you, and they get out and they run. You can't be. It was what, 30-0 run?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So with a minute and some change left, it was 23-23
in the first half.
Yes. By the end of the first half, it was 28-23. Next thing you know, they came out and it wasn't even getting punched in the mouth. They got kicked in the face.
It was straight
they got their teeth kicked in.
Yes.
And there was nothing that you could do about it. And
a 30-0 run.
I've never, like I said, I've never seen nothing like that in my life. Illinois only scored 14 points when Klingon was in the game.
That's disgusting.
Klingon had 22 points, 10 boards, and 5 blocks. They kept, in the first half, when I was watching, they just kept going at him. And he literally did nothing but sit there and just put his hands straight up in the air. Just put his hands straight up in the air. They just kept trying to go at him, and it was not working. I'm like, Coach, you got to do something.
You got to figure out another game plan now, brother.
I don't know what's happening here, but yeah, no, that was very easy to say the least.
UConn showing why they're the number 1 team in the nation right now.
Yeah, easily. But I was. It's funny because it's hard to not be a fan of them because when I was watching them and they were at the end of that 30-0 run, and it was something that always I always kept in my head, and it was something that all my teammates know that my dad will always tell us, up 30, down 30, whether you're in the game for 30 seconds, 30 minutes, play 110%.
Absolutely.
And that's what they did. They were up by 30 and they were still locking down.
They were still trying to, like, it was a close game within 2 points.
Exactly.
That's how they play.
It was as if
that's how they should play.
Exactly. And that's one of the examples that you love to see right there, that you love to see that no matter what, that they're not going to take their foot off the gas pedal.
Exactly.
They're going to stomp you out.
Exactly.
And they're going to show that you do not belong here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of my biggest main reasons why I really love that team. Going to Bama beating Clemson, their first time getting down to the last four.
Yeah, reach first Final Four ever. That's crazy.
That's awesome.
That's crazy.
That's awesome. I love that right there.
I'm never mad to see Bama, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In some type of final or something, you know what I mean?
I like it for their coach. I've always been like very skeptical of their game plan.
Yeah,
with the whole threes and layups. But against a team like Clemson, I was very interested to see how that would go because Clemson was really good at defending the three this whole tournament until they met Bama. Mark Sears is 7 for 14 from three. Jaren Stevenson was 5 for 8 from three. Like they were making big time shots all game, and yeah, they deserve that one, especially after beating off North Carolina in the semis. So I like to see that. Purdue outlast Tennessee. That was a good game.
That was a good game.
That was a good back and forth game. They were both teams were going on their runs, and then Purdue just ended up having that last run. Sometimes that's what the game is. You just have to have that last run. But Edey, a huge game with 40 points and 16 boards. Dalton Kincaid for Tennessee, he had himself a game too. He had 37 points. He was 6 of 12 from the three.
Dalton Kincaid, he went crazy.
Yeah,
and to see that, the fact that he was the only double-digit scorer.
Yeah,
he was the only one that had it working.
Yeah, no, he was the only one. He was the only one that was really able to truly get his way that whole game. And he, like I said, he really did his thing. But both teams had their runs. Purdue just ended up outlasting them, which I think we all like ended up expecting. But Purdue very, very, very strong right now, and they will be facing the shocker, the Cinderella.
Your Cinderella team, I guess.
Cinderella team at this point, right? North Carolina State as they beat Duke. DJ Burns Jr. had 39.
That big boy got some movement on his feet. God damn it.
Bro, he was cooking Filipowski.
It was his drop step into that into the right shoulder that he uses is one of the nastiest moves. Like it's the execution of it, and that he could get it pretty much any time that he wants.
His up and unders are insane. If you even bite on it just a little bit, he gets daylight, he's gonna lay it. It's going and you can't do.
Man can't jump onto the damn curb, but like you see him putting up 30.
You gonna see him put him up though. But that was really, really, really awesome to see because they beat Duke early this year too. So it was really cool to see if they were gonna do it again, and which they did. And now you got UConn versus Bama, and you got Purdue versus North Carolina State.
Good games. I expect that Purdue one to be like a low-key easy one for them, just because I guess not like DJ Burns could do a whole lot with
Edey. Yeah, that's the thing.
At a certain point, it just comes down to size,
right?
You know,
right down there, and it'd be very interesting to see how they defend them. Yeah. Do they bring in like a weak side help? Do they do they somehow double? I know one thing, and it was something that Tennessee actually did really good with Edey. And it was something that I've always been saying. Just push him off the block.
You got to be more physical than him.
Yeah, be more physical with him.
Don't let him just get comfortable under the basket right then and there.
And make him go over his right shoulder, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, make him shoot with his left. Make him shoot the hook shot with his left.
Like how DJ Burns does it. Yeah.
Make him shoot the hook shot with his left. You know it's gonna go in sometimes, but you will have a better chance, I would say. If I'm not mistaken, it is his left. I could be mixing it up, but just push him off the block. Just make him uncomfortable down there. That's the biggest thing.
That's what DJ Burns is gonna have to do. He's gonna have to like out physical him.
He's gonna have to do that. Mohamed Diarra is gonna have to go down there with him more than likely. And he's athletic. He's gonna go up there and he's gonna get it. Yeah, you know. So that's the biggest thing too. He was in foul trouble against Duke, but yeah, no, if they could just somehow, some way figure out a way to not be in foul trouble, then just make it a game. And,
Exactly. That's all we're asking.
Yeah, just make it a game. See, and and then maybe DJ Horn could do something with the guards up there. Because Brandon Smith is looking good. Hoyer's looking good.
Looking real good too.
Yeah. The guards are looking really good, really strong now. So it'd be very interesting on that side. UConn and Bama. I think we all know where this is going.
That'll be an interesting one just because of how Alabama shoots the three.
Yeah, if their
shots are hitting,
they're on.
Then it could get a little
shaky, right? But
I have nothing but trust in UConn.
It's funny though because even when UConn shots aren't falling, which they were not against Illinois, they were still able to lock in.
Exactly, and that's the thing that they're gonna have to do too. That they can do. I shouldn't say that they have to do. That they can.
Yeah, they can. Correct. Yeah. So it's gonna be very interesting. Both matchups are awesome to see. But we still got a good amount of time. So
we got to get to our girl then.
Of course,
we got to get to the girl.
Of course.
Oh my goodness.
Of course.
Oh my goodness.
So in their regional finals.
Oh my goodness.
In their regional finals. So let's start off with obviously the popular one. Iowa beating out LSU.
Caitlin Clark getting her get back.
That was awesome. I can't lie. That was pretty awesome.
No, actually, I also take that back. She should be arrested for what she did to Haley Van Lith, but go ahead and go through it. Go through it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Man. That was one of my biggest things, and I understand how Flau'jae was in foul trouble. Let's be honest. It's either gonna be Flau'jae or Angel Reese starting in foul trouble.
Every game.
We talked about this. We talked about this on Saturday when they were facing UCLA.
Exactly.
But at some point in time, you just gotta fall on your sword, and you gotta go with your strongest defender. You gotta go with your quickest defender, and that was Flau'jae.
And you weren't in. There was no type of adjustments going on whatsoever. Or at least it could have been you could have had Haley Van Lith on her, but on Caitlin Clark, but you would you got to show her Flau'jae early, get her uncomfortable early, so that she's not just comfortable. Because that first three that she hit within those first couple of minutes, at that point I was like, they got it. They got it. Because she came off with way too much confidence on that shot. Too much confidence. She knew it was going in.
She sat there, one dribble with the right crossover, and just got right into her shooting motion. It was
And then she continued to do that all night.
Yep.
All night.
Yep. And they tried to put the freshman Poa on her. I knew that was not going to work. I knew that from a distance. That was not going to work. She
is the better defender out of her in HVL, but it was
she's a freshman. That's the thing.
Exactly.
I'll put it to you like that. She's just too young. She's you know what I mean. It's just one of those, you're too young for this one. So I'm gonna just catch you lacking.
Yeah.
But oh my goodness, 41 points and 12 assists with 7 boards, 9 for 20 from the 3. Bro.
Talk about having a game,
bro.
Talk about putting a team on your back. And isn't actually I can't even say that because Martin had 21. Martin had 21. A Falter was 16. Son, them two were averaging, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It was one of them was averaging 11 and she dropped 21. Martin was averaging 11. And then a Falter was averaging 6 a game.
Yeah. A Falter was averaging, then what is that, 8? 8 right there? Yeah. She was averaging 8 a game.
That's what makes Caitlin Clark so special. Yeah. Is the fact that she could put her teammates into positions to where they can be their best selves, and she knows how to be how they're all comfortable with her and they can all play off of her so well. It's beautiful to watch.
That's one thing that I've always stated, is that as great of a scorer she is that we all know, I believe that she's just as good as a passer.
You know what the funny thing is too? I'm gonna piggyback off of what you said, but I just want to say real quick, her game still has so much improvement, because there were so many times she would come down that lane and she would just dump it off instead of just going up for the floater. She would dump it off every time, and I'm just saying you could read that and you could tell the announcers, they're this is where the next evolution in her game needs to come. She needs to get that little floater right there in the middle of the lane too. Because she could drive. She could drive all she wants. But I have not seen her really, like, pop that floater. Like, she could. Because she could.
Because another thing that she does, too, when she notices that she has a small defender on her, I noticed this with Colorado. When she notices that she has a stronger defender, she's going to outmuscle you.
Yes.
And she's going to just lay it in.
Yes.
So, yeah, no, if she were to get a floater, she'd probably have 50.
Yeah, she'd be the most unstoppable person in the entire... She had 50 and 13, 50 and 12, but, like, she just had, exactly.
That'd be, oh my goodness, but yeah, no, that was a great game. Great game by Reese too. You know, she still had 17 points and 20 boards on a bum ankle.
First half, she was balling. She was putting the team on her back first half. I thought they could do it if they kept feeding her.
Yeah.
But I could tell that ankle probably bothered her a lot too. It looked like it was, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, over time, that's kind of what you know, like that kind of happens, you know, especially after the halftime when you're just sitting there.
Sitting there. Yeah. She changed her shoes and everything. She definitely had that joint wrapped tight.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, no. And another thing that I've always noticed with LSU is that they always go into scoring droughts.
Yeah.
And that was another thing why I couldn't officially trust them against Iowa. Is because there was too many scoring droughts that they would have. It wasn't like they would deviate from the game plan. It was just that they, at certain points, they just couldn't make shots.
No buckets were falling. They got some good looks. They literally could not lay that ball in.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the story of the game right then and there.
Oh yeah, big time.
What I mean? Somebody's making their shots and one wasn't.
There you go.
They put up a fight though. I can't be mad at them. They did everything that they possibly can with Caitlin Clark.
It was a great game. It was a great game. And it was everything you wanted it to be.
Exactly.
But the other game though, UConn and USC.
I better put some respect on my girl Paige, bro.
Paige is the one, bro. Paige, in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure
Paige
and a lot of other people's opinions, she's overall the best all around. She's the best all around basketball player.
She's efficient. She's way too efficient. She doesn't take a bad shot. I have not seen this girl take a bad shot. Like a shot that she should not take.
Correct.
She gets to whatever spot she wants. You know what I mean? Shout out Gino Auriemma because he be doing his thing coaching that team.
Yeah.
He be doing his damn thing coaching that team. You going seven deep all game because you got everybody else is injured.
Yeah,
half the team is injured.
Half your team is injured, and those other half that are injured were going to be solid on this team. So I'd be very afraid of next year's team.
Yo, that's gonna be nasty.
I'm not. Wait,
what is UConn got in that water up there? Cause
that's Gino.
What is going on?
That's what happens when you have a Hall of Fame coach.
When you got Gino and you got Hurley, like on both sides, men and women. Are you kidding? That should be illegal.
But you know, it's always kind of been like this because you go back to go back to like the 90s. You go to the 2000s. You had Jim Calhoun.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
You know what I mean?
He was a great coach.
Yeah. So this could be another one of those years where UConn could sweep it again. But I really like this UConn team. Shout outs to Juju.
Yeah.
Man, Juju had herself a year, bro. She ended off with 29 points, 10 boards.
She better hold her head up high.
Oh yeah, no reason to and I know she will. She was what, like the only 5-star coming in to USC. And I read something where her mom was asking the coach, you know, are we doing things to like get other 5-stars? And they were like, and she was like, yeah, like they are, but like girls just haven't called her back.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So then Juju, it was like that's crazy to me because like Juju as a freshman, as an 18-year-old,
took this whole team
put this team on her back to a regional final.
She was averaging 27 a game, dude.
Yeah,
like that's disgusting.
Yeah, she was what, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think she was like second.
She was.
And yeah, she was second in scoring behind Caitlin Clark. Like you can't really do much.
There's nothing that you could do with her. Yeah. There's nothing that you could do with her.
That's it, score. And
her game is too pure. I
love her movement.
Exactly.
She looked like she'd been playing with mainly guys.
Yeah. Like yeah. When I look at that USC team, it looks like they out there playing like Cali basketball.
Yeah.
Really. Like, you know, like it just looks like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely, like you said, you could tell that she definitely she be in the gym with the guys. Yeah. But she's too quick and too twitchy to be like, you know what I mean? You don't see that a lot in the women's game.
Yeah, no. No, that's very, very rare. But Man,
Yeah, we in for a good one this weekend. We in for a good one this
This
weekend.
weekend's gonna be awesome to end off the season for both men's and women's. So
Yeah.
I can't wait. I know you guys can't either. But you already know the deal. Till then, I'm your host Cam Silver.
I am your co-host Kyle Silver.
And once again, this is the Silver Boys.
Thank you.
What's going on, everybody? It's Cam Silver from the Silver Boys. If you like our content, subscribe to the channel and like our videos. Thank you for watching.